with slow.
Whoa! Hold on. Hey, hang on. Okay. Oh, you just witnessed me fall in love with somebody in like 5 seconds flat. My God, she is stunning. Hello everyone, Curious Corduroy here, and today we're going to be reacting to the video Clair Obscur Expedition 33 Behind the Voices. Now, I'm really excited to check this out, and I've been wanting to watch it for a while, but I was avoiding it like the plague because I didn't know if there's going to be any spoilers in it. And at the time this video came out, I hadn't finished the game yet. So now that I'm done with the game, I am free. I can now check out the reaction to this video and just kind of see what the process was for these voice actors, maybe for the director, Guillaume, Jennifer, who was the lead writer, just to kind of see what they went through. So, full transparency, I don't know if there's spoilers in this video, so if you haven't finished the game, maybe save this video for later and then come back and you can watch it and be unspoiled. Also, I will probably be dropping spoilers in this video now that I'm done with the game, and I like to give examples as we go, so it might be kind of spoilery. So if any of that sounds cool to you, you can click the like button, which actually does go a long way, helps out the channel, helps out the video, gets it into that weird YouTube algorithm and lets people know, hey, I'm watching this, maybe other people might like it too. And if you'd like to stick around and you're new here, you can subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All right, so the way my reactions work, we watch. If I have anything to say, I pause, sometimes a little too much. So if that's annoying, I'll leave a link in the description to the raw video so you guys can just watch it on your own time if you prefer that. But with that being said, let's get started.
Rated M for mature.
Peggy 12. I always think of that guy.
Don't. Too slow. Too slow. Too slow. Ugh.
Yeah, more like this, with a full voice.
Yeah.
Like he's not suffering that much.
Yeah.
I love Ben. Also, I'm pretty sure Ben says the exact same thing in Final Fantasy 16. The amount of times I've done a perfect dodge and he just goes, too slow. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he says. But also, like, Ben is phenomenal. This guy is just killing it, and it's so cool to see someone like him who seems like a genuinely like good person, fun dude who just loves video games. He got to be in his favorite franchise, and now he's a part of Clair Obscur, which is blowing up. It's now becoming iconic in itself. It's super cool to see that. He's also in the first Berserker, Kazan, I believe is the name. He's going to become a very prolific voice actor. There's Jennifer.
We have quite complex characters in the game. They all have like many layers of emotions that we have to bring through.
There's my wife.
It was brought by the first pass, which is the motion capture, but now like with the voice acting, we like elevate it even more to the next level. And I think.
Oh, that's interesting. They used iPhones for the facial capture. Okay, I get it. Sandfall is a very small studio. They obviously don't have a massive budget, so they got to do what they can. But the fact that they're using iPhones to capture the face, that's pretty smart. I think I also heard, and I think I saw it in the video, some of the devs themselves were part of the choir for the music in this game. And I think I remember seeing Ben star in one of those videos. So it's really a situation where everyone on the team is wearing multiple hats and doing a little bit of everything. That's super cool. And when you're a small team like that, you gotta be able to do that to stretch your dollar.
I think we are incredibly fortunate to have been working with this team of actors because they really understand the character and manage to bring all the complex emotions and deepest layers of every character, hide it when it needs to be hidden, and make it surface when it needs to be shown. And yeah, it's just been an incredible ride working with all the team of actors.
Hello. Hello. How are you? Nice to meet you. Max. I recognize your voice when you were talking about that voice. You're amazing. Well, thank you. It's very cool. You're amazing. Yeah, he is. You're amazing. No, it's versatile. It's versatile that make everyone amazing.
So,
that's pretty cool. I learned that recently. That man on the right, Max, not only does he voice Esquier, but he also did the motion capture for Gustav in Verso. Again, when you're a small team, you really got to stretch your dollar and your talent to make sure you've got enough people to fill out these roles. And for him to be able to do that and make those characters feel so different and unique, that is tough. but like a combination of him, Ben, the writing, the people who program Verso and Gustav and do all the face stuff, it all comes together to make an incredible character. And that goes for all of these characters, honestly.
Verso is Verso is no one. Next question. What?
Also, again, sorry for pausing so much. There's just a lot popping in my head. Poor Ben. To be a character in a game that is so good, like Verso, and not be able to talk about him or any of his backstory because it's a massive spoiler has got to be so tough, but it also kind of has to suck because as an actor, you want to be able to say like, this is who this character is, this is what I added, and you can't do any of that with Verso because he's so intrinsically tied to the game's plot, and the twists especially would give away everything.
What? Stop it. Too cheesy? No.
Charlie.
So Maëlle is an orphan, and she was, she bounced around from foster home to foster home, and then she was taken in by Gustav and Emma and grew really close to Gustav.
You still got a flower to give, no?
Yes. Yeah.
She's an amazing character. She's so vibrant and full of life and sass, but she's not without like complexity or pain, so it's been just such a joy to play her. I think she's one of the most brilliant characters I've ever played, actually. Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening. And I feel like I never understood, like
it's so cool to see them like actively in the booth. This is so awesome. Also, yeah, Maëlle, that girl's going through it. Oh my God, what, like, talk about putting a character through so much trauma. She loses people left and right. She loses Gustav in front of her. Again, spoilers, but then there's that twist that happens, which I'm noticing more and more. And I'm still kind of torn on how I feel about it, but the twist going into Act 3 where they reveal, oh, this is a painted world within a canvas, and the real world is just outside of it. That kind of seems to be a make or break moment for some people, which I get. I'm just kind of torn on how I feel about it. It's very meta. I kind of have to marinate on those thoughts a little bit more, but you look at everything that Alicia goes through / Maëlle, girl's going through it. This poor thing is just like losing people left and right. She has no quality of life in the real world, so she wants to be in the canvas where she can be who she feels she truly is. There's a lot of layers there, and it's all very well done. Jennifer does a phenomenal job, whether it's like the fun scenes or like there's the scene where she lashes out at everyone after Gustav has just been murdered. She gives an incredible performance. It's incredible. I'm losing my voice.
Minoko is a gestural who has learned to speak English, and he also enjoys fighting as a method of relaxation. He kind of shows...
Whoa, hang on a second. Can we go back?
And he also enjoys fighting as...
Look at that. Gustav introducing his friends to his oldest friend, Minoko. Obviously, Gustav doesn't make it that far into the game, but okay, this is showing to me that this video probably won't have spoilers because they went as far as to, let me move my mouse out of the way, put Gustav in scenes where he's clearly not in the main game. So good on Sandfall. This was clearly something I could have watched before I finished the game.
A method of relaxation. He kind of shows off some of his personality quite early on. He's kind of got a bit of pride and competitiveness, just trying to show off, I suppose.
New friends.
You speak our language.
Ladies, could I?
Ow! He is the family dog, after all.
Interest you in a duel?
Definitely a gestural.
It was kind of written quite clearly that there was obviously some humour in there. I kind of felt that it was a deep voice as a non-human, but he's very articulate, very well-spoken. You know, the way he speaks in sort of proper sentences and such like. And we've had a lot of fun in the sessions kind of playing with him and his sort of exploring his range of emotions. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
The best part of the voice acting was trying to make everybody say merde and putain. All the French words.
Swear words.
It was always lovely to try to teach them to have the right pronunciation?
Merde.
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 Is that, how do you say that second one?
Putain.
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 Yeah.
Merde. I'm really...
Merde.
My mouth doesn't make these noises.
Merde.
Merde. Merde.
Yes.
I need one more.
Putain.
Yeah.
Perfect. What does it mean?
Pu.
The hard cut on Ben asking, what does it mean? For those of you who don't know, they are swear words I've recently learned. I could say them, but I don't want to get demonetized. But like, you can Google them.
Putain.
As the only French person in the room, you're like, no, it's not like this, no, it's not like this, it's like this, it's like this. And they're like, it sounds the same. You're not French.
It was really easy for me to connect with
Whoa! Hold on. Hey, hang on. Okay. Oh, you just witnessed me fall in love with somebody like 5 seconds flat. My God, she is stunning. Shala? Is that how you pronounce her name? Wow. Not to be a typical man or anything here, she is gorgeous. I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was gonna say. Does it matter? She is, wow, she is really beautiful. Yeah, okay. Continue.
I really valued her optimistic nature despite what she had been through. She'd come through so much grief, and she uses that as her power, and I found that really relatable. The way that she is with Maëlle, her nurturing nature, her maternal nature, her enthusiasm throughout, and the scene that she has with Lune is particularly special.
That's a great scene.
Friends are not distractions.
That's also a really layered scene. Also, I love CL. She reminds me a lot of Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. And I know I'm not trying to bring both of these franchises up to put them against each other. I don't do that. I think it's silly. Two things can coexist at once and be great. There's all kinds of weird tribalism that goes on out there. And whenever something new comes out, people want to praise the new thing and crap on the old thing. It's the Toy Story meme. That's what it is. The meme with Andy, where he's holding Buzz and he's like, yes, you're my new favorite. And then he's got Woody on the other hand, dropping him on the floor like, I don't want to play with you anymore. That is what this is happening right now. That is what this is. People are like, Clair Obscur, yes. Final Fantasy, I don't want to play with you anymore. It's silly. If you prefer one over the other, totally cool. Both can coexist. But as I was saying, she reminds me a lot of Tifa. Tifa is a character, CL is very similar, where they're very caring, almost kind of maternal, I guess, in a way. Not in like she has children, but she just like genuinely cares about everyone. She's incredibly understanding. CL is someone who, I've said this in a previous Clair Obscur video, but CL is someone who is relatively well adjusted considering the circumstances that she's currently in and that she's been thrown into. She just really genuinely cares about people and she's checking on people. She's like the glue of the group. And there's this really great scene. There's this scene here, which is wonderful. And they also kind of add some implication that maybe Lune and CL at one point were a couple. I don't know if it ever like went that far because it can kind of be interpreted as them just like being friends too. Because she literally says here, friends are not distractions. But there's a scene at the end of the game after you defeat Renoir. And he reveals the truth to Maëlle, and he shows his wife and that she's sick and dying. And Verso is just like stunned looking at, you know, this image of his mom who is sick. And the first thing you see is CL. She walks in front of him and she puts her hands on his arms and she's just like checking on him to make sure he's okay. I love CL. Again, I see those parallels with Tifa. Both are just very kind, understanding characters who, even though they've got their own struggles, they always want to make sure that everyone around them is okay. Yeah, wonderful. Also, I'm in love.
Where she's nostalgic and she's using that to connect and interrelate and grow and again, find her strength to carry on.
Yep. She's also beastly in battle when you figure out how to use her. She's a little confusing at first, but She's great. She can do a lot of damage. Oh my gosh, you're so cute.
Wait, that's...
Ciel?
What? How? You guys? You're alive! I thought I was the only one left. I knew you were resourceful.
So I play Lumière.
Hey, there's my favorite in the game.
She's an ambitious, driven woman. She kind of has inherited this goal from her parents, a purpose, like a greater purpose, and I think she's quite determined with it. She won't let anything distract her. It's all about getting to that goal. She's also quite sarcastic and funny, which I appreciate about her, and is not afraid to kind of put the men around her in their place.
Everyone in this game, everyone in the cast is pretty. Everyone is beautiful. Kirsty is adorable. But I'm noticing something here. Some of the voice actors kind of resemble their characters. If I can go back like a second here. I see Lumière when I look at Kirsty. Like, I see her facial structure. Like, that's Lumière. Like, I wonder if they did that with all of the characters where they're like, okay, you're not just voicing the character, we're going to take some inspiration from how you actually look and put it onto the character. I suppose you can kind of see some Ben Starr and Verso, maybe. Gustav looks like Robert Pattinson to me, man. He looks so much like Robert. Although I've seen some people say that he does resemble Charlie Cox. Maybe I think if you gave Charlie a bigger mustache and like longer hair, I could see it. Jennifer kind of does resemble Mael. Shayla resembles CL. Yeah, I wonder if that was intentional. And I did see the woman who voices Clair. I'm blanking on her name. She looks just like her. They clearly modeled Clair off of her voice actor. So I'm wondering if they did that with other people, because she's so beautiful. Like, come on now. Like, these people are gorgeous. And I love her voice, the tone, the texture. I could listen to this woman read the phone book and I would not get tired of it. I'm also kind of biased because I love Lumière. She's now officially my second waifu, right behind Tifa. And like, I just love Lumière though as a character, because like she described, she's such a strong character. She doesn't take crap from anybody. I kind of relate to her in the sense that I like order. I have to have an order of operations in my head when I'm doing stuff, and I kind of fall back on that sometimes when I get stressed. But there's a really, really beautiful scene. I don't know if they're going to show it in here, between Gustav and Lumière. So I'll shut up in case they do talk about that.
Afraid to kind of put the men around her in their place.
She stands up for herself.
I didn't take you for a coward.
It's right here.
I'm not a coward.
You swore the oath. When one falls, we continue.
Yes, I know.
When one falls. When one falls. Not if, when.
I think there are times when maybe there are people around her who are going through quite devastating circumstances, and she can be quite rigid. Yeah. But I understand it. I understand her drive.
This is not the place.
She's such an action hero. She's so active and her powers are so cool. There was something very, like, when I saw her, I was like, wow, she's so cool. I want to be like her. So I think that was great to see.
She got like some of the prettiest moves in the game. Every single attack that Lumière has is so beautifully animated. The lighting, the colors, it's a legit spectacle. But to jump back really quickly, that scene they just showed between Gustav and Lumière, wonderful, remarkable scene. Gustav is just like, he's going through it, man. Like, he at one point was like ready to end things for himself until Lumière, you know, shows up and talks him out of it. But that's a wonderful conversation because it's so real. And that's just, I think, another like strong point towards the writing, is that these characters feel real. The conversations feel legit. I also think that one of the reasons why the performances are so good is because the writing is so strong. It's so well done. But I love that scene because Gustav is being realistic here. He's like, dude, our expedition was wiped out. We don't know where Mael is. She's 16. So when we find her, we got to get her out of here. I'm not going to let her die out here. He's so protective over her because she's like a little sister to him. And while Lumière understands that, she also understands, like, dude, like, we signed up for a really, really big mission here. Like, it's the fate of our people, essentially. Like, and when she stresses that when one falls, when she stresses the when part, I'm like, oh, I love that conversation, because you see where both of these characters are coming from. I don't blame Gustav for wanting to get Maëlle and getting out of there and saving her. But I understand where Lune's coming from. They've got a really big mission to do. And she can kind of come off as a bit, like Kirsty says, rigid or a little bit cold, but that's because she's got a mission, but she also has a big weight on her shoulders. And that's kind of put there by her parents, who were, you know, actively studying the monolith, the paintress, the gommage. So she kind of takes up the mantle of what her parents were doing and wants to move forward with that. And again, super, super strong writing, and it allows for really great performances like this. But also, look at those eyes, my dude. like come on, like whoever's doing the face tech in this game, I gotta look it up because they nail it. But you can see like her eyes watering from anger. Also, like, she's gorgeous. But man, like, this is an incredibly talented team. I'm super excited to see what they do next.
She's very badass, yeah.
Esquier is...
And she's barefoot, and I always use her to roam around the environment because she floats. It's fun.
The Esquier is kind of a myth, you know, he's a mythical creature.
I love Esquier.
Bonjour, mes amis.
Hey, bonjour, mon ami. Ciel?
Odd, I don't know. He seems nice.
Nobody really knows if he exists or not, so when the expeditioners finally meet him and he joins the group, it's kind of a big deal. He becomes their travel companion and their emotional support as well.
Mon ami! Oh, you've put on a lot of weight.
I think it's completely different because with the motion capture, you can actually be in the scene. You have the other actors as well. It's a mix of theater and being on set. But when you're voicing a character, you're alone on the booth.
Oh, and François is just like you.
What I really love about Esquier is that he takes everything so literally. There are scenes that are quite heavy, and sometimes just by Esquier being there, it really does light the mood. Yeah, and he's very powerful as well. Oh, and he can't keep a secret. It's impossible. If you tell him something, everyone would know. Well, apart from one or two things.
Spoilers. I love Esquier. He's such an endearing character. And once you actually learn like why he is the way that he is, because of Verso being, you know, the one who painted this canvas and some of the people in it, it would make sense. Like, as a little kid, you'd want like a really cool best friend who's invincible, who is funny, but is also there for you when you need them. They're kind of like what you might need as a kid, you know, if you don't have it elsewhere. But this is cool because obviously they do a lot of post-production on his voice, but to hear like he's still emoting and acting before all of that, and it still translates. It's not lost, even though they slow his voice down, they put an effect on it. He's still there, the essence of what the actor is doing. Maxine, I believe is how it's pronounced. I'm probably butchering it, but he's still Esquier. It's still there, even with all of the post-production effects. And he's such an endearing character. Sometimes I'm we, sometimes I'm woo, which is like gone viral on the internet. This incredibly lovable goofball who's so powerful and lazy and endearing. I love his relationship with Francois. I want DLC based on those two. Just give me an apartment simulator with those two characters. Just let me manage their lives. Let's have some fun. I think it could be silly. But Esquier is wonderful. And they're making plushies. They're making Esquier plushies. I might have to get one.
We've put some very hard work into the voice acting, and we are super excited to be able to show it to the world.
This is a game made by people who care about the people they're making it for.
Oh yeah.
Being part of the team, getting to see it, so magical, and there's so much depth in the story, in the backstory, in the characters.
There's so many layers of emotions, and the story is so deep and complex.
I think there's so much here to kind of just absorb and explore.
This is one of the most beautiful projects I've ever worked on. Get ready for something absolutely beautiful and special and magical.
With truly three-dimensional characters that you can really get under the bones of.
Be part of that
I'm feeling
yourself.
Well, you will enjoy it. I know you'll enjoy it.
Oh my God.
And Minoko will be your favourite character.
Just hope they enjoy it.
I've never been part of something that has just exuded this much passion.
I think it's going to really wow people, and it should.
Ah, there's Gustav again. They replaced Versa.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. There's all the people in there. Wow. Okay, so the mocap actors. Charlotte Hopfner and Estelle Darnault. I'm not sure who they did. One of them was probably Lune or Mael, I would assume. Yeah, like, wow, dude. What an incredible group of people. Yeah, like, again, you talk about a passion project. This is 100% a passion project. If you can go back just like a couple seconds here.
Absolutely beautiful and special.
I love
and
the
magical.
Gestrels. What wonderful characters. What a, my goodness. I need to stop. Yeah, you literally witnessed me fall in love on camera. Wonderful, wonderful cast. Like they've all nailed on the head relentlessly. This is a group of people that are passionate, not only about making a great game, but for the people that are going to play it. And it's really cool because, again, Sandfall is basically their own, they're their own boss, essentially. They do have Kepler, who is their publisher, but even Kepler is super, super supportive and understanding and is like, we just want you guys to make the game you want to make. We have some critiques here and there, but it's not like anything that's going to change the story or what we want you or need you to do. Like, very much stick to your vision. Everyone who had a hand in this game does multiple things, even down to Guillaume Broche, the director, his mom, adding the core concept of, you know, like one of the worst things that could happen to her was losing her son or any of her kids. That being such a big thing in the game. There's also, oh, I didn't bring this up, but there's a really, really interesting conversation that happens at the very beginning of the game with the character of Sophie. There's another woman you run into and they have this kind of tense conversation about how, I forget the name of the other woman, but she has kids and she's like, oh yeah, you know, I want to have kids. I want to bring them into this world. I want to have something to leave behind. And she kind of chastises Sophie for not wanting to have kids. And that's kind of what causes Sophie and Gustav to kind of drift apart, is that he wanted a family and she didn't. And you can see both of those arguments of Gustav wanting to have kids and pass something on to them, but also Sophie being like, I don't want to bring kids into this world. And it's ultimately like her choice. It's her bodily autonomy, which is a really, really poignant and incredible conversation that I think some people might miss at the very beginning of the game. But like, that was one of the things that really stuck out to me. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, yeah, like the writing in this game, I think is going to be just fine. And it ends up being brilliant. Again, these performances are phenomenal. The actors are incredible. But it really does come back to that writing. Without that writing, there's only so much the actors themselves can do to pull out the best performance they can. There's only so much the director can do. But when you have everything working together, performances, writing, direction, mocap, the entire production team, the gameplay, everything just clicks. And this is truly like a really, really special game. I've seen some people even say it's like the Chrono Trigger of our generation. It's that impactful. It's that good. Again, the end of the game, the Act 3 twist, you know, it kind of isn't for everyone. I'm still kind of marinating on how I feel about it, but everything leading up to that I thought was wonderful. Such an incredible game. I'm going to jump back in eventually and, you know, clear out some of the super bosses that I missed on the first go around. But yeah, this was cool. I love watching stuff like this. Whenever you get to have insight into the characters and through the voice actors, I think it's phenomenal. Was not expecting to fall in love right before, you know, I go to bed, but it's life sometimes. She is stunning. Okay, I need to stop. Also, yeah, Charlie Cox was not in this video. He's a very busy man. But again, I think this was his first time doing an actual voice acting performance, which voiceover is really difficult. On-camera acting, theater acting, difficult, but voice acting is just such a completely different beast, and I think he kills it. For the limited amount of time he's in the game, I feel like he really leaves an impression. He makes Gustav so grounded and relatable. I love the scene where he yells at the Gestrel and he feels really bad about it. Losing him sucks. And that's part of the weird twist at the end of the game, where it's like, well, we're not focused on the expedition and the humans anymore. We're focusing on these gods and their grief. So you kind of lose some of that a little bit. But with that being said, that is the video. I am Curious Corduroy. Let me know in the comments down below who is your favorite character in the game, but also I really would love to know what is your favorite scene in the game. Like, what's your favorite performance? For me, I really love that conversation with Gustav and Lune. It's so impactful and passionate, and you really see where both of these characters are coming from, and you understand them. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.